welcome to Developing Kindness. This is where I guide people through meditations as I go through them and focus on developing the 4 divine abidings, Buddhist teachings on goodwill, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, and kind of explore all the different benefits that come from dwelling in those mental states. So, if you have questions, want more details about what this channel is, or about what the meditation that I use here is, there's an About This Channel video, and there's a video called Introduction. That's not the full title, but it starts with Introduction. And those should be able to give you a little bit more of an idea of the purpose of this channel and the strategies that I'm using here. Today I am recording a meditation from a public library, so it's always a bit of a balance. Sometimes there's a little bit of noise interruption. I think if I can, if it's not too bad, I'm just going to power through it, just because, I can't control. There's always going to be a little bit of kind of murmuring in the background. If, the other day somebody was doing some tutoring here, and I didn't want to wait like an hour and a half for it to end, so I just kept recording. I think I paused if they got louder, but so just be aware there may be some noise in the background. I hope it doesn't interfere too much. So the meditation I will be doing today, I've been having a few conversations with some people I've been meeting recently, and the theme of forgiveness has come up a lot. So that's going to be the theme for today's meditation. I think I'm going to do this one as a part of a series because it seems to me to be a really deep topic, and it's a difficult topic. I think it takes a while to get into the difficult stuff. So I don't think I'm going to get through all of my thoughts, all of the processing that I'll do through this meditation today. So hopefully look forward to part 2. This will be part 1. And then just a few quick things I want to mention. If you benefit from the work I'm doing, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. I'm very grateful to my Patreons for supporting my work. And I would be honored if any viewers would consider becoming Patreons as well. The link is in the description. I'm also going to give a huge thank you and shout out to Beet Records, who are doing my sound engineering. It won't be on any of the raw videos. If it's just my voice and there's no music or anything, that has not been edited by Beet Records, but the transitions and everything were provided by them. So a huge amount of gratitude to Beet Records. If you were to subscribe on Patreon, one of the things that would go to would be to further compensate the sound engineering that they have done. It would help me focus more on this channel, and hopefully it would guarantee more high-quality meditation videos with soundscapes, music, professional editing, a little bit more of an auditory experience. So, again, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this community. I really appreciate any way that you participate. Feel free to share any feedback, insight, requests, questions in the comments, especially requests for meditation topics. I think that would be really interesting. And without further ado, let's get into the meditation. So before we start, I do want to throw out a quick, just a little blurb about the purpose of this meditation and how I think about it in this context. I kind of see the 4 divine abidings, goodwill, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, as kind of like emotional lifeblood. So I see this meditation as almost a kind of yoga where we're starting to stretch our minds into new positions, see things from different angles, see the bigger picture, and gain insight in that way. And one of the ways that you become more flexible is by developing that insight directly, but it's also by kind of warming up and getting your blood flowing, metaphorically. So when you're feeling more loose and relaxed and your blood is flowing, you're less prone to injury, you're less prone to tightness. I think it's a good analogy for emotional states when you're feeling warm and tender and kind, loving, when you're in a kind of giving mental state. It's a lot easier to stretch your mind into new perspectives. So, another similar idea that applies is that you don't want to stretch your body or your mind into a position that is unnatural for you before you're ready. You're just going to get a strain. So the goal is not to force yourself into some kind of state of forgiveness or acceptance. It's just going to make your mind more, so to speak, kind of like tight and resistant, which would be, counterproductive. So, for example, if somebody is in a situation where they're finding themselves really hurt by feelings of anger towards someone who has transgressed against them, maybe you feel very betrayed or targeted, trying to just jump into bending your mind into the stance that you're offering them kindness, you could see that as a kind of very difficult yoga pose or something. It's not kind of like a beginner's thing. Not that it's impossible. I mean, people may find that it's quite natural to them. Maybe they just have a natural tendency to that kind of thing. But if it doesn't come naturally and it feels difficult, then maybe one strategy that could be taken would be, try to loosen up not just one muscle and not just strengthen one muscle, but really work through and think about what are all the different little mental knots that come into play around that situation, around that pain and that suffering, around what you're holding on to, and around whatever it was that happened that, was the transgression that this person did. So hopefully that is what we can work on here today. This isn't some kind of magical hypnosis to, trick your subconscious mind into being able to forgive anyone spontaneously. But hopefully it will just be a series of exercises that I can guide you through, that I'll be practicing and just kind of sharing what I'm doing, that can help build up a little bit of flexibility, a little bit of strength, emotional strength, by tapping into the core of your emotional strength to get some positive emotions flowing and just to allow the natural healing process of your mind to continue. So the energy of those mental states of goodwill, sympathetic joy, compassion, and equanimity is a very beautiful and powerful energy. And by allowing ourselves to explore it through all these different situations, by bringing those strong energetic states to all the different thoughts and ideas that are going on around this idea of forgiveness and the suffering, holding on to something like that, maybe some of that tension can start to be released. As always, I'm only speaking about my own experiences. I hope that my experiences are relevant and useful for you. But it could be that our paths differ. Maybe this isn't the particular meditation for you, but please, don't stop looking if this isn't helpful. I'm sure there is something out there somewhere that maybe will be what you need to hear. So best of luck as we explore the application of these strategies together. I definitely think that this topic is one of the more difficult ones, so if the meditation becomes difficult or challenging, feel free to take a break, step away, try a different kind of meditation, or just a different meditation topic, and then maybe come back to it at a time that feels comfortable for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And without any further ado, let's get into the meditation. So I'll begin by just focusing on my breath. Knowing that I'm going to begin a introspective sort of journey into what my experience is. Knowing that I want to be focused and strong as I engage in that journey. And so as I breathe in and out, taking in the energy that I need, allowing the breath to satisfy and nourish me. Relaxing and releasing any tension or pressure. Bringing my mind into the present and letting go of anything that I don't need right now. Just breathing in and out peacefully. Enjoying the simple nourishment of breathing in and out. Enjoying the relaxation and joy. That comes from just focusing on the breath. Focusing on the breath and breathing in a way that feels strong and healthy and satisfying. And as we continue to breathe, allow your mind to turn to a person who you care about, or for whom you have positive, uncomplicated feelings, or even just neutral feelings. Just someone for whom you don't feel a great deal of ill will or frustration. Someone for whom, when you call them to mind, there's no immediate block that gets in the way, like a thought or some tightness in your body, telling you that there's something disturbed in your awareness. It could even be a stranger, or just the idea of a person, or even yourself. Either way, we'll be practicing the same mental states. And when they're strengthened with one person, we can learn to apply them to all. So breathe naturally and easily, and allow this person to come to mind. And whether you see them in your mind's eye, or they're actually near you, or whether you know that they're in the next room, or whether you have a sense of where they are geographically, imagine that on each in-breath, wherever they are, however you're connected with them, as you breathe in, you pull suffering from them. Whatever kind of pain or difficulty they could be feeling. You breathe in, and their suffering is soothed. And however far away they may be, you pull it into yourself. And there it transforms. And then on each out breath, you send to this person, wherever they may be, however you're connected with them, a strong and powerful feeling of joy and happiness. And imagine that on each out breath, whether you can see their facial expression or feel what they feel in their hearts, that you know as you breathe in that their suffering is soothed. And imagine on each out breath that however it is you're connected with them, whether you see their facial expression change, or whether you feel what they feel in their heart, imagine you could know that that joy would fill them up and rush into them, giving them strength and clarity. Breathing out and sending joy on each out breath. Breathing in and soothing and taking away their suffering on each in-breath. Noticing how it feels to imagine this person is feeling joy. Noticing how it feels to imagine that this person is suffering. Noticing how it feels to reflect on the fact that you could strengthen their joy. Noticing how it feels to reflect on the fact that you could soothe their suffering. And then, as you continue to connect with this person through your breath, imagine that they're struggling with a particular kind of suffering, something that probably everyone has felt in their life to some degree. Imagine they're suffering with the feeling of having been hurt by someone in some way. And imagine what kind of feelings they might experience as a result of that situation. Breathing in and imagining that you're taking away from this person the suffering of bitterness. Breathing out each time and sending joy. Breathing in and noticing how the bitterness this person might feel might affect them in their body, might affect them in their mind. How it might cause them to tense up, feel a burning sort of fire of anger. A sort of closed down, heavy, obstructed feeling. And as you breathe in, imagine that your friend is struggling with that feeling, as many of us do, as many of us have. And imagine that on each in-breath you could pull that difficulty away from them. And on each out-breath, send them joy. Not seeking as we breathe in to get to the bottom of that difficult feeling. Not seeking to annihilate it. But rather breathing in with a compassionate heart, willing and open to feeling it, as difficult as it is. Willing and open to feeling it for the sake of our friend who is struggling. Breathing in and pulling away that feeling of bitterness, that feeling of rage, whatever it is that comes up, whatever it is you imagine this person might feel in the difficult situation that they're in, having been hurt by someone else. Breathing out, sending them joy. Allowing our minds to explore all the possible impacts this could have on a person as it feels comfortable, without diving in or getting too analytical. So analytical that we lose track of that person and what they're feeling. But still imagining this person on each in-breath. Breathing in, soothing whatever suffering they may have. And seeing whether we expect such a person might feel isolated or pressured, like they're trapped between two options, neither of which makes sense. Letting go doesn't feel safe. holding on is painful. Breathing in, taking away from this person, soothing for them the feeling of being lost, the feeling of being trapped. Sending them joy on each out-breath. Noticing for you what the emotions are, what the feelings are, how you might describe the pain that you're taking away from this person. On each in-breath, soothing for your friend any feelings that you feel they have that might just be ready to explode. Breathing out and sending them joy. Knowing that even in the most difficult of moments, when it seems joy is impossible, there's some kind of joy you could send them. They could touch their heart and reawaken their sense of happiness and presence. Breathing out and sending them perhaps a joy that comes from a memory of a time when joy came even though it was totally unexpected. Perhaps just the joy of a hand on your shoulder. Breathing in and soothing this person's pain and frustration. Breathing out and sending them some kind of joy to soothe and uplift them. Continuing to breathe in and soothe this person of any suffering associated with the way they were hurt. Breathing in connected with your friend, perhaps using a word or phrase. May you not suffer, my friend. Breathing out and sending this friend who we're imagining is struggling with the feeling of having been hurt by someone, sending them joy to soothe and uplift them. Not needing the joy each time you send it to replace the pain or blot out the pain, but sending them joy even in spite of the pain, knowing that the human heart is capable of finding joy even in a time of immense suffering. Breathing in and accepting, pulling this person's suffering into yourself. Not because it's wrong or bad, anything they're feeling, but just out of that kind, natural impulse to want to see our friends happy and well. And knowing that there are some ways of connecting with them that can soothe them. Breathing in, just trying to understand what it is that this person suffers with. Just being willing to understand. Breathing in again, willing to understand the suffering of one who was hurt. Breathing out, sending joy. Breathing in, exploring all the different things this person might have felt. Feeling of being shocked. A feeling of being overwhelmed. Sending them some joy to hold them steady amidst the pain. As we do this meditation, noticing perhaps any moments when the impulse to take care of this person becomes particularly strong. If there's an emotion in particular that feels particularly relatable, something they're suffering with that feels particularly unjust or unfair. A moment when you imagine sending them joy, and that joy feels particularly transcendent or particularly soothing. And when you notice that, allow your mind to stay there for a little while. To stay with what strengthens your intention for goodwill. To stay with what strengthens your intention for compassion. And allow that intention to build. Allow the satisfying feeling of caring for this person to build. Remembering that if on any in-breath you breathe in and imagine this person's suffering fading, and feel a strong sense of well-wishing for them, a strong sense of compassion, or even just a gentle hint, noticing if on each out-breath you feel the true wish for this person to be well. Even just the slightest feeling of joy that you're helping this person. remembering that that is your own natural tendency to care for others. That is your capacity for kindness at work. And by attending to that, by cherishing it, you water that and continue to allow it to grow. Noticing too whether there are any ways of thinking about this person that naturally allow your tendency for goodwill and compassion to strengthen. For example, you may imagine that your friend is just a child who has been hurt, and that there was very little they could do to foresee or defend against how they were hurt. And the way they were hurt may be something that you could add a narrative to that helps it feel more grounded in reality. Even just something simple like they weren't invited to a birthday party, or even something silly like they're mad at someone for using their toy. If you imagine that this person is upset for this reason, it may be that although it may not make sense in some way, because you feel that the person is innocent or inexperienced, you maybe let your guard down and analyze it less. Or it may be helpful to just apply no narrative at all and just keep in mind the idea that this person is suffering because someone hurt them. Whatever that may be. Breathing in, pulling away their suffering, soothing and understanding. Breathing out, sending joy and happiness. Breathing in, may your suffering be soothed. Breathing out, even in spite of this suffering, I will stand alongside you. Breathing in, may your pain fade. Breathing out, I offer my presence to you. I offer my support and presence, and the joy of connection, even in spite of what you're struggling with. And as we continue to breathe in and out, offering soothing for this person's suffering, offering presence and connection and joy to them, allow ourselves to ask the question, How is it that this person who is struggling with these things, bitter, frustrated, tense, angry, lost, trapped, how is it that this person will find their way back to wholeness? What might it be that could happen in their life which would make it possible for them to release all that tension and pain? And as we continue to breathe for this person, ask whether one of the things that might be helpful for them might be to hear an apology from the person who hurt them. Or maybe it's something else that they need to hear from someone. Breathing in with understanding. Breathing out and sending joy. Asking what it is this person needs to hear. And now as we breathe out each time, breathe out and imagine sending the joy of what this person needs to hear from the person who hurt them, or from someone else perhaps. Breathing in and soothing their suffering. Breathing out and imagining that this person who hurt this friend of ours could talk to them, and that our friend could hear in their voice that they really mean what they're saying. Breathing in and soothing this person's suffering. Breathing out and imagining we could send to our friend all the letting go and the release of tension that comes when this person hears what they need to hear. Breathing out and imagining this person feels that deep sense of the world being right again. Feeling the strength of the conviction that this person who hurt them recognizes what they did. Again, remembering that we don't need to apply this to any really difficult situation right now. but just breathing in the suffering of having been hurt by someone in even a simple way, like being ignored or looked down upon or not included or brushed off, and breathing out how this person might feel for that wrong to be recognized and for real remorse to be expressed. Breathe out, sending this person, our friend, the joy of being able to let go and connect with other people again. The joy of knowing that that bitterness and frustration won't get in the way. As you continue to breathe in, soothing our friend, and breathe out, sending them joy, the joy of being apologized to or acknowledged. You might even imagine that our friend begins to feel some gratitude. And if it feels appropriate when you breathe out, you can imagine sending them that gratitude. Breathing in, soothing the person's hurt and suffering and frustration. Breathing out, sending them the joy of knowing that their pain did matter to someone. It mattered, perhaps to the person who caused it even. And now that person is seeking resolution. Breathing in, may your suffering fade. Breathing out. May any wrongs be acknowledged. Recognizing that not all wrongs may be acknowledged in life, and that there are some wrongs that when acknowledged, it may not be able to do much anymore. Perhaps. But still allowing ourselves to connect with the experience of a simple wrong, a simple hurt, being felt and really felt, and also acknowledged. Perhaps imagining as you breathe in how this person might look or attend to this person in a way that soothes their pain. Perhaps as you breathe out, imagining what words they might say, what needs to be said to connect with this person again and allow the relationship to heal. It could be as simple as just, "I'm sorry." Or different words may come to mind for you. Breathing in Don't suffer, my friend, don't suffer. On each out breath, whatever those words are, I'm sorry, I was wrong. What I did was wrong, or what I said was wrong, and I'm sorry. Staying there and breathing in with whatever kind of kindness, whatever kind of suffering feels most tender. Breathing out and sending whatever joy, whatever words feel most needed. Remembering that sometimes when the right words are spoken, still the person feels pain inside. And remembering that sometimes the first time someone says something or apologizes, it can maybe feel a little obligatory, like they're just saying what needed to be said. But sometimes someone is willing to see that the person is still suffering, understand that they're still in pain in spite of the words that were said, and to reach out and offer another apology, to apologize again. And by waiting and being patient, you're showing that you accept the person doesn't have to offer forgiveness. And that implies that we understand it's not guaranteed. So breathe in on each in-breath, imagining that this person still suffers. Our friend still suffers even though they heard kind and soothing words. And then, on the out-breath, imagine a person who recognizes this and send them the experience of hearing those words again. Maybe with a little deeper acknowledgement. Sending the joy of hearing You have every right to be angry, and I don't expect your forgiveness. Nonetheless, I want you to know that I'm sorry. And breathe in, soothing the suffering of our friend. And breathe out, sending them that renewed remorse, that renewed compassion. Breathing in, open to the pain they're feeling. Breathing out, renewed kindness, renewed compassion, understanding and kindness. Understanding and kindness from the person who hurt them. Breathing in, soothing their suffering on each in-breath. On each out-breath, sending them the kindness and caring of being apologized to by the one who hurt them. Genuinely, and apologizing again, not needing them to not be in pain, willing to face the discomfort of knowing that they played a role in causing that pain. Whatever in-breath is the most tender, whatever pain and suffering you connect with most, allow yourself to dwell there. Whatever words they are, whatever attitude it is that this person needs from the one who hurt them, allow your kind out-breath to dwell there. Soothing and understanding the suffering. Sending them joy and connection. The renewed compassion and the words they need to hear. And because this is our friend, and we wish for them the greatest happiness, and because in our imagination we can offer them any joy at all as a gift, because there are no limits to the kind of joy that we could wish for them. We could even imagine that this person who goes to them to soothe them has infinite patience. And on each in-breath, imagine that they're still struggling, they're still suffering. And we breathe in to pull away that suffering and soothe them and understand. And imagine that on each out breath, this person is willing to offer their understanding and compassion and apology and remorse again. That this person comes to them with such a giving heart that they don't care. They don't need to know that they're forgiven. All they want to do is care for this person, their friend. And so breathing in, may you not suffer, and breathing out, if your sorrow is so great that it cannot be soothed, even then, even still, may those words and kindness and connection flow for you. Even if I am not forgiven. Remembering that we don't have to even feel this way ourselves. We're just wishing a gift for our friend. So breathing in and wishing for their suffering to be soothed. And breathing out. Sending them the presence of this limitless, compassionate heart that is willing to recognize its faults and share in this person's sorrow, give to them and build them up without any expectation of anything in return. Knowing that in this space of our imagination, we can choose to practice this kindness. We're not limited by any laws. And just ask yourself on each out breath, as you imagine this presence of an infinitely kind, patient person, willing to acknowledge their wrongdoing. Just ask whether you would feel joy for your friend if he were able to experience that, or she were able to experience that. Breathing in, pulling away the suffering. On each out breath, sending that infinite understanding, perhaps accompanied by whatever words this person needs to hear, however many times they need to hear it. I know you're angry. I understand. I'm sorry, my friend. I'm here for you. On each in-breath, soothing the suffering of this friend who's been hurt. On each out-breath, sending them that caring, kind words that never waver and expect nothing in return. remembering as we breathe in this way that this person may never come in real life for this person, our friend. And one of the most noble things I've seen people do is to apologize for something that's not their fault. It sometimes goes against our ego to do something like that. But I remember times when I've seen, maybe with children, when someone comes and says, looks up, gets down on one knee, looks a hurt child in the eye, and although they may not feel remorse personally for whatever it was that happened, they know that that's what that child needs to heal. And so they reached within and generated something like that, something like remorse. Almost like they generated it empathetically on behalf of the person who hurt them. And I've heard someone say, with genuine remorse or genuine feeling, I'm so sorry for what happened. I'm so sorry that there wasn't anything I could do. I'm so sorry that that other person hurt you. And although this may not take the place of reforming that connection with the person who did hurt you, with the person who did hurt our friend, it's also true that we can choose to be that person. So let's breathe together, imagining on each in-breath that we soothe this person's suffering. Imagining on each out-breath that we say these words to our friend. That we offer the apology that from the person who hurt them is not going to be forthcoming. Breathing in, imagining soothing all the pain this person feels. Breathing out and sending them the words that you find. The appropriate words and the words this person needs to hear. Breathing in, don't suffer, my friend. On each out breath, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for what happened. On each in-breath, soothing and understanding. On each out-breath, gently renewing that kind compassion, offering this person solace, offering them company in their sorrow. I'm sorry it happened. Breathing in, soothing, understanding. breathing out. I'm so sorry for what happened. Not needing this apology to result in anything. Not needing it to mean anything about who's to blame or what happens next. Just soothing on each in-breath, offering that kindness on each out-breath. Once again, staying with whatever suffering feels most tender on the in-breath. Once again, staying with whatever words feel most tender on the out-breath. And imagining, as you continue to breathe in this way, how it might feel for amidst that suffering, whatever bitterness or frustration or anger that it is, how it might feel for this person to begin to hear that apology with new words, with new ears, sending them the joy of letting down their defenses, letting go in the safety of knowing that you understand, breathing in, whatever's most tender, soothing their suffering on each in-breath, sending them on each out-breath the joy of at last having that pain understood. My friend, may you not suffer. My friend, may all your pain be understood. My friend, may you not suffer. My friend, may all your pain be understood. If you wish, maintaining contact with the words that go along with your friend's experience. Don't suffer, don't suffer. I'm sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry for what happened. And as we continue to breathe like this, allow ourselves to settle into a place where we're flexible and ready to do what is needed. Breathing in, ready to soothe suffering and understand suffering if that's what's needed. Breathing out, ready to provide joy and connection, understanding, remorse, if that's what's needed. Maintaining that connection with your friend. Breathing in, ready and willing to connect with their sorrow. To sit through the moments when they're sorrowful and they're not able to connect. To be ready with compassion. To maintain the intention for their suffering to be soothed, even when they're not ready to let go of it. Breathing out and sending joy for that moment when at last they let go. For when at last that compassionate heart of forgiveness that offers them kindness, connection, remorse, joy, as much as they need for as long as they need. When finally they open to it and allow it in, breathing out that joy for them also in those moments. Not needing that moment to come, but staying ready for both. Breathing in and soothing on each in-breath. Breathing out joy and connection on that out-breath. And perhaps finding that as you imagine this friend struggling, working their way through the ups and downs of this difficult situation, perhaps you imagine that comforted by the soothing compassion built up and strengthened by the kindness, the infinite patience and kindness that we've offered them. Perhaps you imagine that this friend finds that they also have remorse in their heart. As we continue to breathe in to soothe, and breathe out, offering infinite patience and compassion. Perhaps finding that in the safety and the protection of that kindness, for our friend, they notice too that they feel remorseful about actions they've taken. And as you see your friend's face, imagine whether there are words they might speak to express how they feel. Whether they too might notice words, feel appropriate, like, "I'm also sorry. There were also things I shouldn't have done, shouldn't have said. Those things I did or said hurt others. I realize that now and I understand, and I'm sorry." Perhaps something specific comes to mind, or perhaps not. But just imagining that there's something that in this calm, kind space, this person feels safe to say. And as you continue to breathe in, to soothe their suffering, and breathe out, sending them joy, caring for your friend. Notice whether it feels natural to just try saying the words silently on each in-breath or out-breath. I forgive you. And if it does feel natural, then you can choose to, on each in-breath, incorporate that into the suffering that you take away from them, the suffering that you soothe. Breathing in, may you not suffer, I forgive you. I forgive you, may you not suffer. Choosing also to possibly on each out-breath say silently to your friend who you're imagining, may you be well, I forgive you. May you be well, I forgive you. Breathing in, and if that emotion doesn't come, or that impulse doesn't come, or it doesn't feel like you've connected with this person's remorse, just staying comfortably wherever the meditation has felt the most tender, the strongest, the most captivating, and use that energy as you breathe in, pulling suffering away from your friend, sending joy to your friend. May you not suffer. May you be well. May you not suffer. May you be well. And notice that wherever you were able to connect with that natural impulse to care for another, whether it's in this simple, gentle wish for the friend to have their suffering soothed, or the simple wish for them to be happy, or in a place that comes more connected to a narrative of specific events that happened, or if there's particular words that feel strong and meaningful. Wherever it is, just reflect that that is a way of tapping into your own natural tendency to be caring, compassionate, to have natural goodwill towards others. And so stay there for as long as you would like. Resting in the simplicity of wishing well, and you can send it in front of you as you breathe in and out. May all the people in that direction be well. May they not suffer. You can send it in all four directions and above you and below you. Imagining that on each in-breath, the suffering of all beings is soothed. Wishing ardently for the soothing of their suffering. Breathing out and wishing for the spreading of happiness in all directions. Or you can just stay settled in your body and think of your friend. Breathing out and sending joy. May you be well. May you not suffer. And you can stay here as long as you wish. You can choose to make this place your home.